Formal contracts versus pay-as-you-go for your domestic customer. G'day YouTubers, it's Jeff McPhee's Gardening, Melbourne, Australia. Have you ever considered using a formal contract for your domestic customers? Sure, we have contracts for our commercial because it's law, in that occupational and safety is a requirement for both the contractor and the commercial premises to comply with those occupational safety procedures. So that has to be written documents, and therefore there has to be a formal written contract, which I don't have a problem with. It applies to commercial premises, schools, body corporates, etc. But I'm talking about, would you consider one for a domestic customer? Now in Australia, it's not a common thing, but there is operators that do it and have got some advantages, so they tell me. So today we're going to talk about what advantages and disadvantages of contract and the pay-as-you-go. I'm going to let you know a bit later on what I really think about it, but I'll go through the process before we get there. Formal contracts for domestic clients is not popular in Australia. It's not a common thing, but there is people that do it. I did think about it, I did look into it, but for reasons I'll tell you later why. I've spoken to a lot of operators that actually have contracts, and they've given me a lot of positive spin on why you should have a contract for domestic clients. You may agree, you may not, but this is what I found out. Now, they tell me there's security. Because they've got these committed contracts in place, they feel that they've got the security. So in the event that they want to sell the business, the potential buyer will be able to see that he's got all these contracts in front of him. And it's funny because I remember when I first started, I did sell a few rounds, and quite a few people did ask, "Oh, do you have a contract?" Well, I didn't at that particular time, or I didn't have contracts. But this is what they tell me. They reckon that's a plus. Also, if you went to the bank to get some money, not only are you providing the previous year's financials, you'll be able to show the bank manager your projected figures, which are in writing for contracts. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. They also say that because if a customer breaks a contract, there's penalties involved, and therefore it'll deter the customer from breaking the contract and therefore giving it continuity. Other things they do in this formalisation of a contract is that they'll have maybe a subscription where they'll add up all their work that they're going to do at the premises over the year. Number of cuts of lawns, number of prunings, number of fertilisations, etc. Add all that up for the 12-month period, divide it by the months, 12 months, so each month will be an equal amount called levelling. So every month will have the same amount of money. Now, whether you're working 10 or 12 hours in the busy time at 1 or 2 hours, it'll be the same amount each month, so the customer knows exactly how much he's going to fork out each month. Personally, I hate contracts. I hate contracts with a passion. Every day of our working life, our living life, there's a contract for our phones, there's a contract for our pay TV, there's a contract for our power. Just contracts all the time. All the time you're signing up something, you're signing a contract. Just imagine that if you were a client and a contractor come up to you and said, "Okay, we've agreed to the price and we're going to do the job. Oh, by the way, can you sign this contract, please?" Now, if that was me, I would say, "That's it. I'm not doing this anymore. I'll go somewhere else." And I reckon that would be, a majority of people would say the same thing. Now, in Australia, contracts are starting to disappear with our major providers. Over the last few years, if you buy your phone outright, you can get a phone plan and you can change it any time you like. Our energy plans for our power and our gas, we can change it any time. Go to another company. There'll be no penalties involved because everyone's sick of bloody contracts. They want that freedom, and companies have identified that, and companies are saying, "Okay, we're going to go along with this," because people have just had enough. Now, with a contract, if you did have a formalised contract, I can't see a lot of benefits. For example, if you had that subscription, for example, and you were saying it's $500 a month, so every month's $500. Now, in the summertime, you're going to be working hard. It might take you 8 hours to get through all the work. It's a lot of visits, a lot of hard work. Come to winter time, might only be there for an hour. You're still going to get that $500 for that maybe 1 hour's work. But a lot of the customers, as you and I have done in the past, I'm pretty sure everyone's done it. As soon as you get subscriptions in, you have a look through them and you start knocking them off because this is all adding up too much. And because you're getting that money, that customer's paying you that money each month, it's starting to become in their mind. And they'll say, well, hang on, we don't need anything done. Why are we paying this? So you've got to then go into that conversation with the customer about, well, listen, during the summer we worked hard and now it's winter. It's a give and take situation. So you're letting yourself into that particular, argument. And the other thing is, what happens if you have to do additional work? So you've got to adjust your figures on your subscription each month, add those on your bill to the customer, and it just becomes a hard slog, in my opinion. So that's why I think the pay as you go is the easiest, simplest way. Getting back to the contract, if they do not comply with the contract and they go outside and say, for example, we don't need the service this week. So what are you going to do? You're going to charge them. You're going to invoice them for the extra, are you? Or you're going to penalise them. They're going to pay that penalty. What if they don't pay it? What are you going to do? Take them to court? You're going to waste a day's wage. You're going to get lawyer fees. It's just not worth it. And more importantly, you're going to be known as, geez, Jeff, don't go with him because if you sign his contract and you don't comply, the bad word will get around. I just don't think it's worth it. Pay as you go is simple. You do the work, and at the end of the day, you get paid. Each month might be different. You can still offer packages. We often, with our customers, offer a monthly package. It'll be so much for this and that and whatever. But if there's more done, they pay more. If there's less done, they pay less. But it's for the actual work that we actually do. So we're not going to be working for a low hourly rate in the busy period under the contract. And yes, a high hourly rate in the winter time, in the slow period. That's if the customer plays ball. You don't need a formal agreement, a written agreement. You can use the quotation form. It's very simple. On the quotation form, you can detail the visits. The price is based on X amount of visits per year. You can put your terms and conditions of what you expect of the client. Please, open the gate, pick up the dog mess, make sure the rubbish is picked up, the toys, etc., picked up in the backyard. You can pick all these little things. Payment terms. I want to be paid EFT by the end of the day or at the end of the month or whatever. You've got all these available to you. You can dictate those on your quote. You don't need to formalise it in writing. You can do it on your quote and when they accept that quote. Because a contract, if you offer someone a service and they accept, by law, that is a contract, if you really want to get down to basics. So I'm going to tell you why I don't do contracts. I've banged on this for many videos in the past, and I've always banged on it for years and years and years. Target the right customer. I got customers, nearly 40 years. I've got customers 20, 30 years, 10 years plus. All of those people, I haven't got a signed agreement. I've never had a hassle with them because I've targeted the right customer. Target the right customer. You don't need a formal contract because there's no hassle. You provide the work, they pay you, they're happy with your services, you're happy with their work. It works both ways. If you've got that system going, why the hell do you need to have a written contract? Written contracts, to me, are for the crap customers. If you've got the customers that are going to cause hassles, yes, do a contract then. But to me, a crap customer is a customer I do not want. I just want the customer that I've targeted that I want. I don't need any formal signatures or workings on that. All right, there's something to think about. Look, there's going to be pluses and minuses on both sides. Be interested in hear your comments and see what you think about it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please share and please like. And again, comments. I'd love your comments. And thanks for the comments in the past videos. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.